My name is Daniel Lesley, Quantic class of September 2025. I'm going to be talking about relational aggression and queen bee behavior by using the leadership missteps of Stephanie Corey at the company Away as an example. I will put out a position statement stating that I am male, commenting on the actions of a female CEO, Stephanie Corey. I don't think that her actions are reflective of all females, or that females are less capable in any way than males in leadership specifically, or the workplace in general. I will be citing sources from both male and female researchers in a variety of fields that do discuss gendered versions of leadership. And I will provide some background in those fields in order to support my analysis of this individual's behavior. I will also provide some references in the bibliography. So the company Away was demonstrated to have a toxic culture by the Verge article describing what was going on. However, the company was founded as a culturally sensitive company and an ally of progressive causes. It was supposed to be a friendly and supportive work environment. These two factors enticed a lot of employees to join the company and brought a lot of customers to buy the bags as well. However, those toxic factors included professed core values that were not realized, low fairness and low predictability on the part of leadership, as well as autocratic leadership and micromanagement, role ambiguity, role overload, and role conflict from middle managers, lack of safe spaces to vent, especially for the marginalized employees, and punishment of those employees who ethically engaged in compassionate sharing and protective behaviors of the people they were supervising. So Away's actual format was very different from the format that was promised and would have worked better for it. The actual format was autocratic and transactional, even though it had been billed as being an affiliative or democratic or even transformational company. The decision-making process was top-down and very autocratic, even though it had been billed as being laissez-faire or democratic. In terms of the competing values exhibited, even though they said that they were going to be more like a family, a clan style, it ended up being much more about hierarchy and the control exhibited by Stephanie Corey and other CEO. The type of power that was used was supposed to be inspirational, referent, but instead it was coercive. In terms of the cultural profile, it was supposed to be a people or team-oriented company, but instead it was very detailed and outcome-oriented in the things that were focused on. The organizational style was very flat, with Stephanie Corey having supervision through the Slack channels of almost everybody, even though a deep hierarchy with multiple levels between her and lower level workers, or a flat hierarchy but much more laissez-faire or democratic would have been better for the company. So why did the CEO of Away act the way she did, after implying that her leadership would be of a different sort? So I would say that one possibility is that, like many people who are females who have become ambitious and who are ambitious and successful, she learned leadership styles earlier on in her life. And many of the leadership styles one of the leadership styles that can be exhibited earlier on is the queen bee style. She had a meteoric rise and equally precipitous fall. Even though the goal of her company, like most companies, was making a product and a profit, her style of leadership appears to have been focused on appearing nice while maintaining control. And that's characteristic of the queen bee leadership style of female social groups. So this leadership style might have served her well in purely social situations in her past, but didn't do so in the business of getting products to market and maintaining team function. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the attributes of queen bee or mean girl behavior, which is often seen in middle school, high school, or subsequent situations. The queen bees are the popular girls who use their social power to maintain control over others. Some of those behaviors that they use include clique formation, defining the standards for group inclusion and exclusion, establishing roles for other people in the group, making arbitrary rules and rituals that others are forced to follow, limiting conversation or interactions outside of their control, and micromanaging the behaviors and appearance of other people in the group. The queen bees tend to insist on the appearance of equality within the group, while in actuality they are in the process of maintaining their own superior social status and retaining more social and physical resources for themselves. These are forms of relational aggression. The queen bee enforces hierarchy within the group through a number of behaviors. I talked about it, that shallow hierarchy in which the queen bee is in control of each other member. And this was put in place in a way by restricting Slack usage almost exclusively to channels visible by everybody, including management. I talked about how queen bees often use humiliation to keep lower status members in line, and there was significant use of insult and shaming publicly. I talked about those arbitrary rules, and there were various rules on accountability, such as taking pictures of oneself at home working, that might not just have been goal-oriented, making sure people were still working, but also calculated to break down people's resistance to following orders, while dissolving the line between the worker's self at home and their work personhood. These are some of the ways that workers at Away talked about their work, and in ways that are reminiscent of queen bee culture. So what the queen bees engaged in extensively is covert aggression. We are very familiar usually with overt aggression, most frequently used by males, in which real or simulated violence is used in order to appear threatening. Covert aggression is the opposite. The aim is to appear non-threatening or nice, while actually still undercutting rivals. This helps to protect the aggressor from being identified as a threat. It reduces the chance of physical or reputational harm to the aggressor, while at the same time still eliminating or neutralizing rivals and securing resources. So the idea is to stay nice. Nice can vary from culture to culture, but the appearance is more important than the reality. And the nice reputation can be leveraged for personal advantage. So Away's pitch of being pro-social was a tool for competition and was successful initially while the reputation was maintained. But when the reputation was lost, the brand success sank. The nice reputation was also successful as a tool for hiring and inspiring workers at first. However, maintaining that nice reputation required a lot of not nice behavior, such as gaslighting, like couching coercive actions as opportunities, or describing the humiliation of others as constructive criticism, or describing the concerns of racially marginalized employees as racist. But the consequences of losing that nice reputation can be harsh. It may lead to exclusion from the group. It may be difficult to regain a person's reputation once lost due to the expectations of further duplicity. I would point out that Corey's fall was not primarily due to failure in fiduciary responsibilities to shareholders. She wasn't given the time to turn things around when there was a brief drop in purchasing. But her ouster was related to the loss of her nice reputation in dealing with other stakeholders, with employees. So to summarize, I would say that Corey's style as an autocratic, outcome-oriented, coercive leader was not successful in the long run, even though she was successful in the short run. Her use of gaslighting, humiliation, targeted firing of influential employees, unethical behaviors, pressure tactics, and micromanagement conflicted with her company's image as inclusive, supportive, and progressive. And it was that conflict that caused the company to have problems. While it seems illogical that a founder would create a company with core values that are opposite what they actually practiced, it makes sense when viewed through the lens of the queen bee leadership style, which values the appearance of niceness while actually practicing covert relational aggression and control. These are some of the sources I cited, including the original Verge article, but also a number of articles in sociology, sociobiology, and from other people talking about the things that happened at Away.